Radical.
Viewer discretion is advised.
You know, when I think about children's books, I think about Cat in the Hat. Hey, what kid didn't have a copy of Cat in the Hat? Dr. Seuss books are great. They really are. But I'll tell you what's not great. Some racist imagery in some of those Dr. Seuss books. You know, I wasn't really thinking that there was. I think when I was a child, I probably read the books, and I didn't zero in on maybe some of the racist imagery. I don't know, maybe because I was a little kid, right? What are we doing as a society? We're focusing on making sure to take away Dr. Seuss books. Or rather, the publisher of some of these Dr. Seuss books are going to put them out of print because of some imagery, right? Some racist imagery. Apparently, I'm not reading anything that they're going to reissue these books and maybe just change the imagery. I mean, that's an idea. Worst case scenario, maybe if you want to make the warriors happy, right? If you want them to put down their pitchforks after coming after your children's books, maybe, just change the imagery. Okay, I think that's something both sides can agree on, right? The sides that stand up and say, it's fucking stupid. Why are you going after children's books? And the side that is offended at every single thing that may be a little insensitive, right? I tell you what we need to do. We need to go after the good doctor himself, the bad doctor, Dr. Seuss. I was shocked. I don't feel the same way about Dr. Seuss anymore. I was shocked to actually go back in time and look at some of his drawings from the 1920s. And you wouldn't believe it. He has some racist drawings. Dr. Seuss, the author of Cat in the Hat. I am shocked. I am shocked at the idea anyone that was born when he was, that was an adult in the 1920s, was the least bit racist. Wait. Whoa. If you look up racist imagery from the 1920s and 30s and 40s and 50s, before people started acting right, after Martin Luther King came on the scene, I think pretty much like racism was accepted back then. It was wrong, yeah, but it was a part of the time. It was a product of the time. So guess what? In literature, in any books, you're going to see some of that. Okay, I just want to let, all these SJWs, I want them to know that, right? Trying to make this like the cornering. I don't know. Is that how he does it? Oh, the publisher bended the knee to them. Bended that knee all the way back, tapping the foot on the back. Oh, it's like a Dr. Seuss thing, isn't it? Isn't that like a Dr. Seuss thing? You know what this does? This does a variety of things. It actually enhances the collector market. I didn't know that the publisher of this book, do they understand that these books are now going for $400, $500, $600 on Mercari and thriftbooks.com and any places where you can get it? People are still going to get the book. They're only going to pay out the ass to get it because it's now a collectible. Be careful with that book. It's a rare collectible. So that's one thing it does. So what are these 6 books being removed? Well, The Cat's Quizzer, Scrambled Egg Super, On Beyond Zebra, McElliot's Pool, If I Ran the Zoo, and To Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street. I think the most famous of these books is probably the last one I mentioned, To Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street. A Chinese Boy Who Eats with Sticks. Well, that's a problematic image. That is a outdated image. It is. So I guess that means if this sets a precedent that we need to remove anything from the past because it's insensitive to people. There's a post here from Tara Dublin. She says, and To Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street, first published in 1937, was my favorite Dr. Seuss book as a kid. I can still recite parts of it from my memory. But looking at it with a modern perspective, it's impossible to ignore the overt racial stereotypes. Right. So it was your favorite children's book, Tara, your favorite children's book. But looking at it from an adult perspective, it's impossible to ignore the overt racial stereotypes, you say. So you know what that means? That means, as a child, you didn't see the racial stereotypes. You just saw it for what it was, which was a great children's book, a well-written children's book. But now looking back on it, right, I think that's a problem here. And I'm not saying there isn't things that are really wrong about, stereotypes in these books from 2021 perspectives. But I don't get it. Do we now have to go back in time? This is really dangerous here. It's dangerous, and it's something that we really can't let happen. Do we need to go back in time and, just wash away Gone with the Wind? Was there something in It's a Wonderful Christmas? Was there something in that movie that might be a little, insensitive? Develop a thicker skin if you are offended by things from the 20s and the 30s and the 40s. Tara says it's impossible to ignore, but no, it's quite possible. It's quite possible to ignore racial stereotypes from media, books, movies, TV shows in the 1920s, 30s, 40s. The Three Stooges might have a scene you don't like and you don't agree with, Tara. What are we going to do? Hey, Mo, that's racially insensitive. This is just getting out of control. And here's what's actually going to wind up happening. Great works of media and the people that created these great works of media are going to be canceled. And we're just going to have a collection of people that we can talk about maybe from the 1970s on. Is that the end goal? Is it to just, erase everything? These Dr. Seuss books were not problems in the 2010s. They were not problems in the 2000s. They were not problems in the 1990s. Why is that? It didn't mean that there weren't offensive images in the books. I think everyone was aware that maybe some of the things in these books was not, to the times. The problem is we have a whole culture right now that's trying to go after and cancel things like Dr. Seuss because, they were guilty of possibly being a little racist in the 1920s and 30s. Okay? Now, was there a solution here that would actually result in anything but having to pay like $1,000 to get a Dr. Seuss book if you wanted one? Was there a solution? How about this? Continue to release and publish these 6 books as normal, but also for the people that are complaining, go ahead and release new 2021 revised editions. I mean, hell, you could have the Chinese guy running and he could have blue hair and, he could have a nose ring and be non-gender specific. Is that ultimately right? Got to release these Dr. Seuss books, teaching that there's really no genders. Is that the next step we want to go here? Huh? This bunny has the biggest bunny ears. The bunny hears a deer over here with his big bunny ears. The deer the bunny hears is a genderqueer.